Football has been called a game of inches. For prospective NFL quarterbacks, those inches should be right around 76, matched with a cannon for an arm, and roughly the intelligence of a nuclear physicist. If you are fortunate enough to have been blessed with those qualities and have proven yourself as a winner and leader in a successful Division I college program, you will likely have signed your ticket for a green room pass to the NFL draft. But after that, all bets are off.
You know, I can't tell you what happens, what these little things are that change the course of football history. I can't tell you, but I've seen a lot of it. And some guys, they go on the field, and you have the feeling that something good's going to happen. And other guys go on the field, and you're worried to death that the opposite's going to happen. And that's what makes the quarterback position so difficult to evaluate, because I've seen guys with talent unlimited, arm strength, accuracy, throw the ball through a wall. I mean, just literally, guys like Jeff George, and yet the production, career-wise, is not good. And then you see others that are too short, too slow, kind of too everything, and then all of a sudden. So what that convinces me of, and this is nothing unique to me, but a long time ago, I was taught that there are people or players, athletes, some of them, and particularly quarterbacks, have attributes you can't see. And those attributes act as an impetus to their success. But you can't see them. They're just something. And then others have these attributes that you can't see that act as a deterrent to their success. And that's why the position is so hard to evaluate. And that's why the Jamarcus Russell, Ryan Leaf, Akili Smith, Heath Schuler, Tim Couch, David Carr, that's why all of those guys were Vince Young, all drafted in the top 3 picks in the draft, and none of them play. And that the Tom Brady's and the Russell Wilsons and the Joe Montanas, who are not picked anywhere near the first round, are having great success. It's those attributes you can't see. And in some cases, on the other guys, it's also attributes you can't see, but they're not good ones.
This was a decision that Jerry and Steven made despite really what the scouts believed.
Hey, Quincy.
Yes.
This is Jerry. You're a Dallas Cowboy.
Thanks, Mr. Jones.
If they're going to name a guy who's going to be the franchise quarterback, then I figured you put him in the same category as a Troy Aikman. Well, that definitely wasn't the case.
Whoever was coming after Troy probably was going to fail to some degree.
Before training camp, it was like a couple weeks out, and I was actually still smoking marijuana. I would say I was medicating myself, to deal with some of life issues.
Some respond favorably to pressure, others respond unfavorably. Quincy was one who responded unfavorably.
I thought I was terrible. I watched them all and I was like, well, they're all better than me.
The problem was he was very indiscriminate. We just didn't want to throw the ball anywhere he felt like it.
I remember just staying up and praying about it and just being like, you know what, Lord, if I'm supposed to be an assistant golf club professional back in Burlington, Wisconsin, I'm going to go do that.
After a 10-6 regular season and a trip to the playoffs, hopes were high in Dallas. There was still work to be done, but with the right coach and a proven quarterback already in place, it looked like smooth sailing for the Cowboys. As an insurance policy, veteran quarterback Vinny Testaverde was added to the roster for the 2004 season. While the signing added depth and stability to the position, Quincy took it personally.
That really got to me because at that point I thought, hey, I'm going into my second year of the same offense for the first time. And when we signed Vinny, I kind of went into a little tailspin a little bit and a little me against the world kind of attitude.
The players, when you bring a guy in, they feel threatened. So instead of embracing bringing Testaverde in there as say Tony Romo did, hey, listen, holy cow, look at all the years of experience I got here. I can learn from this guy. Quincy could have done the same exact thing and probably would have learned for the better because Testaverde knew he wasn't a long-term solution for anybody at that stage of his career. He knew it. And he was not a kind of an overpowering personality. He was very amiable. He's easy to get along with. He was a good guy, and he was willing to give what he had to anybody in terms of knowledge. But Quincy felt threatened.
For Quincy, the added pressure of the new competition at quarterback extended beyond the field and deep into the realm of his financial planning.
At that time, I'm actually thinking, you have another good year. Everybody in the state of Georgia, close to Decatur, is taken care of for life. You know what I mean? That's how serious it was for me. Maybe we ripped this whole thing up, and we're not even worrying about the 5th year of my contract because I had a 5-year deal. And hey, we're going for all the marbles now, and everybody's sitting pretty. You know what I mean? So it was that pressure too.
Quincy wasn't the only one affected by Vinny's signing. Tony Romo found himself at the bottom of the depth chart, behind Carter, Testaverde, and Drew Henson, and fighting for his football life in Dallas.
I was having a rough time mentally in the fact that there was 4 quarterbacks and how it was, the other 3 were all established or the new guy that was going to come in and play, and Drew. And that was tough for a little bit. And then I remember after about the 2nd day of camp, because it was wearing on you, just emotionally, just kind of was like, I'm thinking about like the wrong things to go out here and perform. And then I remember just staying up and praying about it and just being like, you know what, Lord, if I'm supposed to be an assistant golf club professional back in Burlington, Wisconsin, I'm going to go do that. And I'm going to be the best at that, But it's like, but I'm done making every throw about my life and job being on the line. Because if it is, you can't do it. It's just too important then, and you can't be at your best when you have that hanging over your head.
In an effort to familiarize the 2 new quarterbacks with the Cowboys offense, Parcells divided training camp reps evenly between Carter, Testaverde, and Henson. But the coach's decision to sit Quincy in the first scrimmage set off a monumental chain of events that would result in one of the most shocking and memorable days in Cowboys history.
It was actually our first scrimmage, and I didn't participate in the scrimmage. So I went in the meeting room actually and put my head down on the desk while we was watching the game film. And I went and put my head on the desk and didn't even want to watch it, man.
He did. He just kind of checked out during that meeting that day. And coach was trying to communicate with him, and it wasn't as normal behavior, I guess you could say. And he obviously wasn't happy about the other 2 guys playing a little bit.
It's not the first time I'd seen a guy put his head down or kind of retreat totally from the situation or kind of throw his hands up and kind of give up, which is actually what he was doing. I think one of Quincy's problems was that he was a little bit fearful of success. And as he gained a measure of success, which he did, he had his team in the playoffs, he was the definitely the starting Cowboy quarterback now. That's a big job. It's a very visible job. And some people just, they want to retreat from that. They don't want that kind of responsibility.
The following morning, Quincy heard a knock at his door. The possibilities were endless. But Quincy had an idea of who would be waiting on the other side.
I thought it was a girl. Honestly, to this day, I thought actually, I was going to get lucky this morning before practice or something. I hate to say that. Mom, forgive me. But I really did, though. I think it was like 4:35 in the morning, actually. And it was the Turk. I just really want to just slam the door back in his face, like, what you doing? And then he said, actually get your playbook. I said, oh my God. My heart just boom, boom, boom. It was surreal, to be honest with you. Yeah.
It was D-Day for the Cowboys. The moon landing, OJ's white Bronco, and the Berlin Wall, all wrapped up into one little package. Over a decade removed, the vivid memory of that morning remains etched in the minds of anyone remotely involved with the team.
That was crazy. We in Oxnard, a beautiful place to go jog, trying to stay in shape and all that, go out and run. Go back through the dining hall afterwards, grab a big glass of Gatorade, and Larry Lacewell's sitting there with a cup of coffee, and he goes, well, Bros, we just cut our starting quarterback. And I'm like, what? And he goes, we just cut Quincy. We just cut him. And I'm like, I don't even want to know.
I can remember seeing him walk down in the parking lot, and he was leaving. And that was obviously a big day, for the Cowboys.
I was back in Dallas for some reason, and I was getting a haircut. And I was in the barber shop and watching a TV report, and they said, he's been released. And I said, what? I better get back out to California. I'm in the wrong city.
It was actually my birthday. And I remember Todd Williams coming to my door very early in the morning, and he banged on my door, which was kind of our scouting office at the time, too. And he goes, you're not going to believe what we just did. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, Quincy's out of here. What?
Quincy's departure immediately moved Romo from number 4 to number 3 on the depth chart, and safe from the dreaded visit of the Turk. So now, the question. If Quincy had handled things the right way, which quarterback ends up on the street at the end of training camp?
Tony Romo does. Because we're not going to release Henson. Parcells would never, and there's a side of me that believed that Bill Parcells and this whole thing, grand scheme of things, was thinking of ways of getting Testaverde the start.
If Quincy doesn't get cut, I think that I'd probably end up on practice squad, if that was possible. I don't know all the details on that. But if not, maybe they cut me and I'm playing for somebody else. So, history's crazy. Happens the way it's supposed to.
He might have been greater sooner. He might have been nothing. He might have been back in Wisconsin coaching high school. We'll never know. And it's the great thing about sports that people get these opportunities and you see what they do with them. Some people do great things with them, and sometimes not doing something with an opportunity is the best thing that can happen, but it might take 20 years to figure that out.